What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be ranking every 2024 finest along with all the XP reward bosses. So let's get right into it. Alright, first up, boys, we got Corbin Burns. This is really good. Corbin as a pitcher, he's solid. Corbin gonna get you innings. He's gonna be good for you. The boost is really good too. It increases batting clutch, which I personally love. Yeah, he's just a solid guy. He's more valuable boosting a lot of these guys for lower clutch. For that reason, he's going to get S tier. Next up, Bobby Witt. Really good, really solid. 125 everything. 125 clutch. Good powers. This card is cracked. Great fielding. He is correct, boys. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, boys. He's going to be cracked. So we know what to expect with Aaron Judge. We have like 399. So. But he's good. He's great. Put him as Riley Green. Now I suck with this card for some reason right now. Usually I like Riley Green, but he's been struggling. But yeah, 100 contact left, 125, 119, 125 power with 125 clutch. Card's really good. I just unfortunately suck with him, so we're gonna put him A tier. Hey, but could easily fit in S if you better with him. Next up, Seth Lugo. The only problem I have with this drop is the pitchers are kind of they're not elite enough for me. Like you use them, right? But I feel like with pitchers it's kind of like we already know who the best are, and some of the guys just don't crack that top 25 for me, or even Seth Lugo's fine, solid. I just don't like his motion, but four seam sinker, slurve, cutter, splitter, good pitch mix. So I'm just gonna put him B, just solid. Next up, Trey. Boys, we already know what to expect with Trey. This card is absolutely cracked. 125, 118 contacts, 115, 110 power, 100 power. Clutch is a little bit lower, and the discipline, he's not going to get the check swings. But, everything else is really across the board. Pair him with the Corbin boost. Going to get up to that 122 clutch. So, he is S tier, boys. Jacksonville. Sleeper card for me, boys. Him and another guy I'll talk about later were sleepers. And I was waiting for a good Jackson Merrill card. 102, 125, 10 or contacts, 105, 110 powers, 110 clutch. Obviously just pair him with a Corbin boost and you'll be fine, guys. You'll be fine. But this card is cracked, boys. Cracked. S tier Jackson Merrill. And he can play a lot of positions, so versatile. Next up, Colton Cowser. Another really solid card, 102, 114 contacts, 115, 125 powers, 102 clutch. Clutch is a little bit lower than a lot of these guys, especially with the Corbin boost. But he's gonna fit in that A tier. Same thing with Riley Green. Next up, Vladdy, cover boy. He's cracked. Vladdy is a stud. 120, 125 contacts, 111, 108 power, 125 clutch. He is an absolute monster, boys. Oh, S tier. Next up, Tyler O'Neill. I always suck with Tyler O'Neill cards, but he's still really good. 125, 100 contacts, max power, great clutch. Great, solid fielding too. So he's A. None of these cards are bad, by the way. None. Like there's no card that is bad. Just some are better than others. Next up, Otto Lopez. I would have liked to see Jake Berger or Xavier Edwards get this, but Otto is still a good choice. Blue Jays legend, 103, 125 powers, 85, 90 or 85, 90 power, 125 clutch. So he's got A solid. He's good. Probably the Marlins boost, like with team captains being 99. Now, like he probably juices his power a little bit, but yeah, this card's good. 8 tier, boys. Nolan, XP reward path, 103, 125 contacts, 125, 101 power, 116 clutch. He's good. Great fielding. Come to expect with Nolan. So yeah, don't know if he fits over another guy we'll talk about, but I definitely think he's good. Maybe it depends. I always think there's just better options than Nolan, but he's always good. Anthony Santander. I've been waiting for a good Anthony Santander card. 105, 110 contacts, max power both sides, 106 clutch. Card's insane. Insane. S tier boys. Probably play him at first base because he's not going to do first base or DH. That's the only handicap with him. He can't field, but he is still really good. Next up, Stephen Kwan. Now, this is another sleeper card. Like, I was kind of expecting them when I heard Stephen Kwan was going to be the finest, like the powers be a little bit lower. But, you know, actually really good. 125, 113 contacts, 100 power against left, and 90 against right, 115 clutch. Like, it's actually really good. Like A tier, boys. A tier. Next up, Willie Adames. Now, this card is the best or one of the best cards for me in this drop because I love Willie. He's been super clutch for me in the event and a little bit in rank too. Yeah, 100, 120 contacts, 102, 125 power, 120 clutch, great fielding. This card is a stud. I'm gonna put him as, boys. I love Willie. Next up, Alex Bregman, another just insane card for me. 101 or 100, 119 contacts, 120, 115 power, 104 clutch. Great fielding too. Arm strength and arm accuracy is a little bit lower, but diamond defense, so makes up for it. Yeah, S tier card, boys. A lot of S tiers, boys. A lot of S tier. Next up, Seiya Suzuki. He's okay. Like 115, 121, 100 and 105 power with 115 clutch. You know, he's a great card. I just feel like, you know, with some of these other guys, like you know, I would rather use them a little bit more, but it's still not a bad card at all. Next up, Matt Chapman. Same thing with him, like 106, 102, 106, 112 powers, 102 clutch, great defense. Just solid. Just a really, really good card. A lot of A tier card, boys. Next up, we got Taylor Ward. Card is cracked, can play a lot of positions. 102, 101 powers, 109, 119 power, 113 clutch. Great fielding. I don't think he's diamond everywhere, but maybe once you get him paralleled up a little bit, he will be. A goal defender nonetheless. So he is going to be A, boys. A lot of A tier guys. A lot of A and S. Luis Garcia Jr. has been really good for me. And he's really solid guy. 114, 125 contacts, 85, 115 power, 125 clutch. I'm not the best fielder, so that does hurt him a little bit. But he is really good. 8 tier, boys. William Contreras. Now, this is probably, honestly, like he is a top 5 catcher in my opinion right now. 125, 120 contacts. You know, 100, 111 with 125 clutch. This card is really good. And diamond defense behind the plate, you know. This card is great, man. S tier, boys. Diego Tovar, I haven't really used too much. Like, there are a couple guys I haven't really used, like him and Kirby Yates. But I've used a lot of these guys pretty decently in the event. 112, 119 contacts, 108, 106 power, 125 clutch. So this card is actually really good. Great fielding too. Can play second and third. So yeah, I'm gonna put him A, boys. I'm gonna put him in that solid A tier. Next up, Bryce Harper. We already know, boys. Insane. 125, 111 contacts, 102, 115 power, 125 clutch. Great defense over there first. And I also play outfielder gold. His speed is a little bit lower, so I would probably recommend playing him at first. But yeah, S tier, boys. Next up, Zach Wheeler, another XP reward path boss. He's good. Zach Wheeler, 4-seam, sinker, blurb, cutter, splitter. So good pitch mix. I just feel like he's always pretty readable in my opinion. So but I still think this card will get you know, things probably better on the higher difficulties. Put him A. Next up, Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds is basically Mickey Mantle with worse fielding. Yeah, 114, 121, 100 and 111 power, 125 clutch. It's just defense is lacking though, and the speed doesn't really make up for it. So probably stick him out on left or a DH position, but he still is going to be really good. You could probably play him in right too with that 95 arm strength, but Brian Reynolds, we expect S tier, like cracked. Next up, Spencer Steer. This card's really good. Just defense is lacking. 102, 111 contact, 100 and 108 power, a 125 clutch is going to help him out a lot. Like so, and then the fielding is a little bit lower at bronze. And the speed is really good, 85. So he's going to fit in that 8 tier, boys. Next up, we have Ryan McMahon, a free 99 you get out of the the shop. So yeah, 120, 107 contacts, 114, 115 power, 108 clutch. He's great. He's solid. For free card, man, you can't get any better, honestly. So A tier, boys. Next up, George Kirby. Like he was good for me, ranked 103 hits per 9. You know, solid. He's solid at everywhere. 4-seam sinker, slider, splitter, knuckle curve. Wish maybe a different pitch than that knuckle curve, but I mean, still he's really good. Does he? I don't think he fits A because I feel like Zach Wheeler's a little bit better than some of these guys, but we'll put him at solid B. You know, definitely they're not unusable, but they are usable. Like that's the thing with every one of these cards, usable. Some are a little bit more. Next up, we got Sonny Gray. Honestly, I think he may be one of the best pitchers. Just he's got like a little funky motion. I don't know. At least for me, I was seeing him. 105 hits per 9. That's the only thing. Some of these guys like the lower hits per 9 with some of them. Yeah, but 4-seam slurve, 12-6 sinker and cutter. So he's got the pitches. So they're gonna be really good. So yeah, we'll put him solid B. All these, I feel like all these pitchers are kind of like just good, but you know, nothing too crazy. Kinley, another XP reward path boss. Now, I was gonna say that this card is better. Like when I saw Kinley, I was like, okay, good, we're gonna get like a 5-pitch mix. But no, he's only got a 3-pitch mix. The cutter, slider, and sinker, which is not bad, right? But you know, I would want like a 5-pitch mix for Kinley. So, but he is still gonna be a really good option out of that pin. Put him B tier. Next up, we have Garrett Crochet, probably the best Garrett Crochet we've seen since 21. If you guys remember that, I believe it was either a Future Stars or a reliever. Pretty sure you got both, but I could be wrong. Yeah, really good card. 4-seam, sinker, cutter, slurve, and circle chains. So this card is actually really good, better than I thought. So definitely is usable. I just think with lefties, right, we already know kind of like who the best lefties are. You know, John D, Randy. So does he really fit your rotation? Probably not, but he's still like he'll get you. He could win you a game. You know, he'll get you a good start. Next up, Max Fried, another Braves pitcher card, boys. I wish it was somebody else. Give me an Ozzy. But anyway, this card's really good. He got lit up for me in rank though, but still, he's a solid pitcher. Always is. 4-seam, 12-6, sinker, circle change, and slurve. I wish they would give him like a cutter instead of that 12-6, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, just solid, solid B, boys. Next up, Luis Severino. Honestly, a really good, really, I was surprised they gave it to Severino, but I mean, still really, so I guess who could you give to? Really good card. With that 111 hits per 9. 4-seam sinker, slurve, cutter, and circle changes. So he's got the pitches, boys. Be really good. He probably will be better on the higher difficulties. I gotta give him more of a shot. A lot of these pitchers I really haven't used on higher difficulties too much, only on the event and All Star, and so. But yeah, I think these pitchers are gonna be fine on the higher difficulties. Next up, Tyler Glasnow. Same thing with him. Typical Tyler Glasnow card, but he did get better pitches. 116 hits per 9. 4-seam slider, 12-6 sinker and circle chain. So fairly good pitch mix. We're gonna put him in a B tier, boys. Just solid. Now we got this finest J-Ram. I've been waiting for this card. This is the only guy that replaces Chipper in my lineup. Right now. 125, 104 contact, 125, 115 powers, 125 clutch. Great fielder, which is insane. The only lack with J-Ram is he just doesn't have the arm strength, but everything else is immaculate. Just as far as God Squad, he's the only guy that replaces Chipper. So S, boys, S. Jock Peterson. I thought honestly they could have gave it to somebody else, but Jock is still a really good option. Just with Jock, he's not gonna be, he's not gonna field. Probably don't DH him, but 101, 125 contacts, 104, 125 power, 125 clutch. Fielding is bad, boys. and speed. So I don't think there's just other options that I would have DH that have more speed or could play a little bit better fielder. This card is still a really, really good. So A. Next up, Justin Martinez, a really solid pitching option. I feel like this is, this is probably the best reliever out of the whole, or best pitcher out of the whole drop, in my opinion. As far as probably honestly, like he's up there as far as relievers too. 125. Good everything across the board. Sinker, four seam, splitter, and slider. Maybe maybe give him a fifth pitch. That would be my only gripe with this card. But I think he definitely fits in that A tier for me. He's been really good, really holding it down, really steady. Next up, Edwin Uitsita. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right. Probably butcher it. 123 hits per 9, really good. Sinker, circle change, cutter, slurve, and 12-6. Now his circle change is a little glitchy. I've noticed it glitches out of hand. But yeah, same thing goes with him. I feel like the relievers have been really good in this drop, so I'm gonna put him A. I like him as a pitcher. I haven't used too much of him. I like him, man. I like him. I think probably the only thing I would change, yeah, maybe the speeds, because I feel like his speed differential isn't like the best, if I would say so. But he's still really good. A tier. Next up, Tanner Scott. Typical Tanner Scott card. 125 hits per 9 with the 125 clutch, four seam, slider, circle change, and sinker. Tanner Scott's pretty readable in my opinion, but he's still solid. So put him B. Definitely good lefty. Next up, we got Griffin Jacks, boys. 120 hits per 9, 121 clutch, so pretty much the same. Slurve, four seam, circle change, sinker, and a 12-6, so pretty solid. Put him in that B tier range. Really solid. Next up, Gattel. I love Gattel. This card has been just a monster in ranked. Like Gattel swings beautiful, play every position, pretty much a diamond. 125, 110 clutch, 125, 118 powers, 125 clutch. Diamond D fielder, pretty much everywhere he goes. One thing is his arm strength, but everything else is really good. And 70 speed too for Gattel is really great. So S tier, boys. Kirby Yates. Now this is probably the worst card in my opinion, but it's not bad by any means. 125 hits per 9 with 125 clutch. Just the only thing is four seam, splitter, slider, and slurve. Just the pitches aren't there for him, but he's definitely usable. But yeah, that is gonna do it for me, guys. Let me know if you guys would change anything about this lineup, and let me know what else, what other videos you guys want to see in the future. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.